On the Paper Talk today, we'll be talking about some of the quotes from yesterday's game, although we won't be dwelling on it. We've had enough of that, haven't we? We'll also be talking about transfer rumours. Harry Kane, is he actually going to come to United finally? We first linked with him back 10 years ago. Could he be coming to Old Trafford? Let's find out. Jay here, Stretford, Paddock. This is the Paper Talk. As you can see, I'm outside Old Trafford and it's pretty nippy, to be honest with you. So if you've got a parker, put it on. Well, it's the morning after the night before it. That disappointing result against Arsenal at the Emirates. I've got a couple of quotes from that. You've probably heard most of them. Then we're going to move on because we've got some transfer stories that we'll get into. Eric Ten Hag, speaking after the game, said, maybe in the next couple of hours, we realise we are in a good position, realise we are in good development, good process, but at this moment, I am annoyed. I also told the players, if you want to win trophies, we have to change our mentality because it's not possible you're in a top game, you're making three such big mistakes where you concede goals, especially the last goal. You have to feel the game on that point. A point was the maximum, and then you have to take the point, and you can't give such a goal away like we did on top level, then you can't win trophies. So he was annoyed. I get that annoyance, and I'm kind of glad that he's come out and not made excuses and not said, oh, you know what, it's one of those things, we're missing players, the lads give it their all, they did really well, it's a tough game to come to, or tough ground to come to, we're playing top of the league and all that stuff. He's come out and he said, I'm annoyed. And he's right to be annoyed because we did concede sloppy goals and we invited so much pressure for those last 15 minutes. I'm not going to dissect the game again. We've already done that. You heard our live review. Well, if you didn't, you can check out our live review with me and Joe. There's also the post-match reaction from Howson, from McCullough and Andy Tates. You don't need me to ruin your Monday morning by banging on about it. But I will say this, we've lost one game in 10? We've won 8 of those games, including the Manchester derby, and we're in a good position for top 4 and some silverware as well, being in the semi-final of the Carabao Cup. So it's not all doom and gloom, is it? Let's put things in perspective. I think Eric Ten Hag is doing a fantastic job, and I believe he's the right man to get us challenging for a title. Just not this season. It was a bit ridiculous to think in his first season, when we just finished 6th, we were going to win the title. And I get it, because there was part of me thinking, winning against City and Arsenal then maybe, but we've got to be realistic about these things. Work in progress, and the progress is good. Right, let's get into some transfer rumours. The big one, obviously, is Harry Kane. Now, this sort of broke. When I say broke, it moved forward a little bit on Friday, didn't it? With news that Harry Kane was open to the idea of joining Manchester United, and Manchester United were interested in Harry Kane. Kind of makes sense. He is going to be 30 by the time next season starts, but that doesn't mean he hasn't got at least 1 or 2 seasons left in him. He is a proven goal scorer. He's one of the most prolific goal scorers in Premier League history. And Manchester United are desperate for a number 9. We know all these things. So, when you look at it, you think, OK, that ticks a lot of boxes. Ideally, you wouldn't want a 30-year-old striker. You'd want someone who's sort of early or mid-20s. But there is a hint of the Robin Van Persie's about this. Robin Van Persie only had a couple of seasons, 2 or 3 seasons left in him, came to United and won the title. So, anyway, I'll get into what's been said. It's an article in the Daily Mail. It says, Harry Kane D-Day looms as Tottenham go in search of much-needed win against informed Fulham, with Antonio Conte urging his players to get nasty in top 4 battle. Spurs playing Fulham, I think, tonight. Not in a great bit of form, are they, Spurs? And that's what that's about. It's saying that Antonio Conte is urging his players to get nasty. It also talks about a bit of brinkmanship between Harry Kane and Tottenham, and also Manchester United. Tottenham, what's going to go on there, who's going to blink first, is going to be a move, because according to an article in The Athletic, Harry Kane is still open to having talks with Tottenham on a new deal. There's an article, I think, by David Ornstein that says that he's open to sign a new contract, but he's not closing the door on Manchester United. It's sort of saying, it could go one way or the other almost. It's like Tottenham want to offer him a new deal. I think tonight, if he scores, he will become Tottenham's all-time top scorer. He can still, I think he's 62 goals off becoming the Premier League all-time top scorer. So that's still something that is a possibility. If he has 2 more big seasons, then he can do that. So there's lots of ifs and buts and maybes, lots of things that he's got to look at. He's entered the final 18 months of his contract, and no negotiations have taken place. This is what The Athletic is saying. So there's that as well, because Tottenham need to tie him down if he is going to sort of stay, because with 18 months left of his contract, by the end of the season, that's obviously going to be, a year. Then if they are going to sell him, they need to move then. It says here as well, the striker's place in their history is in no doubt, but there have been fresh questions about what the future holds after recent reports linking him with a move to Manchester United this summer. This is from David Ornstein. It also goes on to say, if an agreement cannot be reached soon, Tottenham will need to decide whether they look to sell Kane or let their prized asset go into the last year, knowing he could depart for free in 2024. I'd be very surprised if Spurs let him go for free in 2024. I think they'd look at it and go, if we can get money for him next summer, or he goes for free in 2024, it's better to get money for him, because him going for nothing would be, I think, pretty disastrous for him. Them getting 100 million or whatever that they can reinvest in another striker, a younger striker, or maybe one or two players elsewhere in other positions makes more sense to me. Well, as always, we'll keep you posted if we have any updates on that. The Harry Kane one, though, it does look like a big, there is something there. Looks like it's not just smoke, there's a bit of fire there as well, and that would be a huge transfer, wouldn't it? So D-Day looms. We'll have to wait and see what happens. There's a story here that's been doing the rounds. It's in the Manchester Evening News. It's also, I think it's picked up by 90 Minutes, or the Evening News have picked it up from 90 Minutes, I should say. And it says that United have been offered the chance to sign Dusan Vlahovic, according to a report. It's claimed that Vlahovic wants to secure the guarantee of Champions League football for next season, and the recent 15-point deduction for Juve could deny him that, and it's reported the Italian giants therefore could grant him an exit either this month or in the summer. I don't see us getting him this month, I'm not going to lie to you. Maybe in the summer we could do. He's someone that's been linked with us. He's one of the names that Ralph Rangnick mentioned. I mean, to be fair, Ralph Rangnick mentioned pretty much any striker that was any good, but he did mention him, to be fair. So we'll keep you posted on that one. Would make a lot of sense, obviously young, a player that we've been linked with in the past. Juve in all sorts of bother with that points deduction they've been handed because of some irregularities with how they were declaring the transfer fees. It's looked like there was some sort of shenanigans going on, shall we say. So maybe Vlahovic could be a target, or could be someone that ends up plying his trade here. A couple more stories to get through. United are interested in a Swedish forward. This is in the Evening News. According to a report by Junes for two, United are among the clubs interested in signing AZ Alkmaar forward Jesper Karlsson. This is a 24-year-old Swedish international, and he's rumoured to be about 17.5 million, which is pennies, isn't it, in today's modern game. If anything happens with that one, we'll keep you posted as well. And also, we're in a battle with PSG for a Brazilian wonder kid, according to Gazeta dello Sport. We're in for this kid, if I can find his name, Vitor Roque, or Roque. Yeah, apparently, kid over in Brazil. We want him, Paris Saint-Germain want him, but we'd have to pay 52.5 million to get him. So, sounds like a lot of money. We'll have to wait and see with that one. Just as an aside as well, another player we've been linked with, Victor Osimhen, he's took his tally to 13 goals in Serie A this season, after he sealed Napoli's win over Salernitana. So he's banging in the goals. Vlahovic has been linked. Harry Kane's been linked. A Brazilian wonder kid's been linked. A Swedish kid's been linked. Everyone's getting linked. We'll have to see what happens though. But listen, Manchester United move on. Disappointing against Arsenal, but we've got a big game coming up, Nottingham Forest in the Carabao Cup. And let's face facts, no one cares about the Premier League. It's all about Carabao Cup. We'll have to watch along for that. So make sure you are hitting like, share and subscribe. We're back later on today with the Paddock podcast, and we'll have Carl Anker from The Athletic joining us. So that's one worth checking out. I've been Jay Motty outside a pretty brassic Old Trafford. Thanks for watching.